And welcome back, everybody, to the Finnish Legacy Nationals. Uh, Here we are, Anttu Kaivonen and Nalle Salva, back in the camera, and we are getting to the next round.
Yes, and it will be an interesting one, full of, let's say, some probable speed, let's say so, because there's bound to be something happening way sooner than it should be.
That is very much true. So on the tables we had a red Stompy and a red Stompy and Eldrazi Stompy this time.
Yes, both cheating with mana in some way or another. So let's see. Here we go. Let's start with an easy one. That's the Flesh Raker that is creating some spawns and also pinging the opponent for those. And a quick Chalice for zero might be exactly what he needs in this matchup.
Absolutely. So with the Chalice on play, Hermanni cannot cheat with mana that easily anymore, and Joonas doesn't need that kind of acceleration anymore. Once he already got the import pieces into play, because now he can play more efficient mana lands instead of what Hermanni plays. Moonstompy generally plays more Chromoxes, plays more Lotus Petals, whatnot, and I think it will be in a little bit of trouble here.
Yeah, we'll see naturally because there are other ways to cheat with
Yes.
mana.
For example,
Demonstrated by this.
the most example Monkey.
Yes, and it's followed by the Blood Moon. One of these really smart ways of tackling the mana that is usually what Eldrazi Stompy is using from lands to generate the unfair advantage here.
Yes. So usually we could say that Eldrazi Stompy puts a little bit easier pressure on the board compared to Moonstompy, but Moonstompy has better ways to deny mana.
Yes.
Because both of them do play Chalice, both of them do play Fastlands, but in this situation, Moonstompy is favored as they care about red mana.
Yes.
Eldrazi, on the other hand, does nothing with red mana.
Yes, and let's keep in mind the Flesh Raker creates spawns. Oh, it was spawns, right? Not
Yes.
science spawns. No matter, and the idea is that those can generate the colorless mana that the deck needs to use for, let's say, for example, for what's it? Thoughtseer.
Yes.
Thought not seer. Sorry. So we'll see how it proceeds from here.
What was the name of the card?
Flesh Raker something or other. I can't
Flesh
remember
Raker.
exactly. The chat may also correct us.
Glaring Flesh Raker. That is the
Yes.
thing. So it actually might feel like Joonas.
There we go.
Oh.
There is the Thought not seer.
Oh, so there was a token on the field.
Yes, there was from the chalice
yeah,
of the board.
it is outside of the camera a little bit over there. So I was,
Yeah.
I was thinking that he might have missed the token for there,
Yeah.
but it is indeed right out there,
Yeah, and let's see.
and that gave out the Does Not Seer on the table, just as we were talking about.
Yes.
So
And the hand seems to have
it's
quite a few things, but nothing that scary.
it feels very heavy overall.
Yeah, and even though Lilia might be great in general,
Yeah, but not that much on this match.
yes, not on this match. After all, Thought Not Seer is relevantly bigger
Yes.
than Lilia would be in a normal situation.
Absolutely, Lilia. If Lilia is taken away, which is
Yes,
still
that's-
good because it is still a good creature.
Yeah, and it's still the only one that did anything, let's say, in
Yes.
Hermanni's hand in this case. For example, even though Simeon's Spirit Guide is, let's say, it's a creature.
It has the same basic stat line as Lilia.
Yes, but it does not have that many other things going for it as a creature. So, and there's a Magus of the Moon, another moon effect, probably not what Hermanni would have needed, but still, it is better than nothing, sure. And the turn has been passed with a bit of a tap in mana from Eye of Ugin, as you can do with the Blood Moon on the battlefield. There is a card that is beyond anything we can see. Perhaps our technical director can go rectify this shortly. But as we can see, there is a very nice token generated by that, whatever it was.
Yeah.
The Eldrazi spawn that does have some tentacles and a 0/1 stat line.
That is a beautiful token for sure.
Yes, I think it is smiling.
I would be smiling if I was the spawn.
Yes, yeah, absolutely.
It is doing everything that a good spawn needs to do.
Yes.
All right, so we are passing back to Hermanni, down to 9 life at the moment. He does need to get some actual creatures on the board, somehow to solve the situation.
Yeah. And it will be difficult, because Stompy is not famous for its comeback ability.
But this is actually one of the better cards that he could have actually played.
Well,
Fable
sure,
of the Mirror
yes.
Breaker gives some broad presence, also gives card filtration, and
Yes.
if next turn he needs mana acceleration, he also gets more mana from that.
Yes.
I don't think he needs more mana. It might be that getting the 6 mana next turn isn't necessary as well. And with the monkey in hand as well, that's 7 mana available for Hermanni next turn. A lot of things can happen with 7 mana in Legacy,
Yes, yes,
especially with these decks.
yes. But I do find it difficult to think about, let's say, many ways that Hermanni has out of this this situation. There might be something, sure, but I'm not entirely sure what might it be.
Yeah, we'll be checking a deck list in between the rounds a little bit more, so get a little bit more insight on what is happening here. Let's see if there was more ways for Hermanni to deal with the board. But at the moment, let's focus on the match at hand.
Yes.
We got cards a little bit more on side, which is beautiful.
Is it Herald of something or other?
It that heralds, if
It that Heralds,
Yeah.
yes, yes. And that is the game. That is the game for Joonas, which is not surprising. As mentioned, it is difficult for the Stompy to get back from the brink, let's say.
Yeah. And here we can see the relative power of the decks. If Hermanni started with the turn 1 Blood Moon, I don't know if he knew the matchup. Koskelo is quite known among the scenes that he plays Stompy kinds of decks.
Yes. Yes.
But even if he didn't know, turn 1 Blood Moon against Eldrazi on blind, that would have been devastating for Koskelo.
Yes. Yes.
I cannot imagine how he could have actually played the game, because he wouldn't be casting any of the spells from his hand, all of them regard to one colorless mana,
Yeah.
or blank mana,
However you say it.
wastes mana.
Yeah, the mana that can be generated with red mana.
Yeah. Devoid mana, colorless mana. It's
Yeah,
all the
it-
beautiful
all the-
cards.
you know what we're talking about.
Absolutely.
You're watching the stream, so you're probably not just starting Magic. And if you are, welcome. This is like a fun game.
Absolutely.
But yes, it was probably a good bet or luck in this case that Stompy wasn't going first.
That is very much true.
Yeah.
Let's take
Proceed to the sideboards.
Absolutely. Let's look a little bit at Stompy first and what kind of cards does it offer. All right. So the key cards in the deck overall these days, of course, it is called Stompy for a reason. It has Blood Moon, Blood Moon effects, Magus Moon as well. But these days, it is even more reliant on the actual creatures in the deck. Argoif being better than ever these days.
Absolutely, yeah.
Doing his best Flame Tongue Kavu impression, but actually going over.
Yeah.
But also playing good cards like Broadside Bombardiers, which suddenly turns the game straight over when you deal 16 damage in one turn.
Yeah. And with all the furies and such, you get to cast free spells, and as a result, you might deal, let's say, 21 damage on a single turn.
Yeah. And also Vexing Bubbles will not help out in the matches, but maybe not on this game so much. And let's take a look at his list as well, at least on our side, so we can actually chat on that. Thank you, technical team, helping us out.
Yes.
So on the Zombie, there are some Power Blast, Dead and Gone, Fairy Macabre, Fear Confluence, and Trinity Sphere. I think on this match, maybe a number of Dead Guns, Fear Confluences.
Possibly, but I think this sideboard is more geared towards other matchups.
Absolutely.
So not those great big haymakers that one might need in this sort of matchup, but at least for the next game, he is on the play,
Yeah.
and that'll be huge.
That already helps him quite a lot. Let's go to Koskelo's deck as well. Check it a little bit out as well. So Eldrazi Stompy does have quite a lot of different sideboard options.
Variations, at least.
Yes, they have lots of ways to actually build the sideboard. Koskelo has gone for Dismembers, Fairy Magables, Maze of Its, Mindbreak Traps, Null Rod, and Waste Cape Battle Mage. How do you feel about this sideboard?
I don't think he'll use any of it. There is a good chance that none of these cards are needed. These members might be good, considering they are the Magus of the Moons and such. But for the most part, I'm not sure if they're necessary. So
Absolutely.
we'll see. But I'm not entirely sure. Would he be really changing those out anytime soon?
If anything, I could see probably be 2 Dismembers coming in to help
possibly, yeah.
deal with some of the clocks. Getting rid of Bombardiers is very important as well.
Yeah.
So there's not those very big turns happening that easily. But we will see.
We will absolutely see. Yeah.
What is going to happen there?
Yeah.
It is still an interesting matchup.
It is for sure.
Lots of things will be happening.
Yes.
We will be going back to the games now. Players are doing the mulligans. Excellent.
Also, a shout out to that great mat on your left. It has a man on it.
It absolutely has a man on it. And even better shout out to the Finnish Legacy Nationals top 8 mats presented on the right side. Made by our own Juha-Matti Vanhatupa, who is also the 2-time winner of this event.
Yeah. And it is Chalice of the Void, I believe.
It is. Last year Kappa Cannoneer, this year Chalice of the Void. Beautiful mats all around.
Yes. And as per is needed for these, it's not an actual replica of the art. It has something of Juha-Matti's own on that mat.
Absolutely.
And naturally, it's probably worth mentioning that he is actually an artist.
Yes, he actually has his. What do we call these things again these days? He has his art on display this week.
Yes.
In Tampere area. I don't remember which gallery it was, but
a gallery in Tampere.
Yeah.
Yes.
But he might get there. Back to the game. What we have over here. It looks like Hermanni kept a 7, which looks like has lots of very good options over there. Joonas going for a mulligan to 6. Eldrazi does mulligan quite well.
Yeah, and I bet there is some truth to it that Joonas is mulliganing because he looked at the hand and realized if there is a turn 1 Blood Moon, I'm not going to do anything for the entire length of this game. Because there is a wastes, I believe, in Joonas's deck. And there might be a chance that Joonas just goes for it if there is nothing else going for him.
Looks like he put down a dual land. A double land.
A double land, yeah. There's the ancient
sure
tomb.
Likely the ancient tomb, yeah.
It looked like an ancient tomb.
Oh, Hermanni goes with the tap land for the first turn. Is he going to play anything else?
Well, that is interesting.
I think players are forgetting to use a life pad, which is quite normal, but...
Yeah, our technical director will be fixing that shortly. There is the Chrome Mox that imprints Bombardiers, yes.
Well, basically, Hermanni is very much setting up for the next turn. It looks like he has Magus of the Moon, there's a One Ring, is it Ragavan as well?
Also, I would be surprised that there is a Ragavan because would have been.
It just looked like a monkey.
It just yeah, sure. Hit that he rolls.
And it's banned also.
and Lotus Pedal.
Yes.
Hitting the battlefield.
So also setup turn for Joonas. Also very strong setup over there because it as he rolls, it does discount all the colorless spells that he would be casting.
Yes. Let's see what's happening next.
Yeah, passing turn after that, go back to Hermanni.
Yeah. If Hermanni did draw land, or a mana source, let's say, there is a good chance that there will be one piece of Blood Moon coming up. Or a Magus of the Moon, because I believe I did see.
Yes, there was the Magus of the Moon.
Yeah,
Very
right.
much likely. Hermanni does have a third land from the Surtur Skull Smashing,
Yeah.
if he wants to use that. It does hurt a little bit, but not that much. I would
Yeah.
take the sacrifice anytime.
Yeah, it's probably not the damage that it does much work here. It's the haymaker effects that both of
Absolutely.
these decks play. There is the Magus of the Moon.
All right, and now we will be checking if Joonas actually did get the dismembers in. But also, like, there's still a lot of game for Joonas in the deck as well.
Absolutely, yeah.
Not all the cards need colorless mana.
Mm.
They can be usually played with any kinds of manas.
Mm.
Though most of the modern Eldrazi do need the actual mana source. And
There
there's
we
the
go.
dismember.
There is the dismember, yes.
I called it. I called
Yeah,
it.
yeah. It is indeed there. And it does make sense. After all, there are 4 copies of Magus of the Moon
Which is
on
very
the
good.
other side, and they have to be dealt with.
Yes. Get some damage in as well.
And there is a Wasteland.
Ooh.
Ooh, that might be difficult for Hermanni. I believe Hermanni didn't have that many lands in his hand.
I don't remember seeing any more lands on his hand.
Or mana sources for that matter.
Yes. We'll see what he got. That is not a land.
Nor a mana source.
Yeah.
So this might be difficult.
Excellent turn for Joonas.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah. Joonas also kindly moving his cards a bit closer to our camera so we can actually see what's happening. Apart from naturally the land that is glaring like sun.
The
There.
sun, power of the sun at the
Yes.
palm of my mat.
Yes.
It's a Herald's going back to the red zone, and then we have Cavern Souls, likely named Eldrazi.
Yeah.
And then we have a 4-mana play here. Yes, that is the Mag Spawn,
Yeah.
which does, as a cast trigger, it does get a land from Jonas' deck.
Yeah.
And
This would probably be either Wasteland or Wastes. It is a Wasteland.
I would get a Wasteland as well,
Yeah,
in a
yeah.
heartbeat in this situation.
Yeah.
Because with the Tempelos that Hermanni will get from this, even if he gets something to control the board, it will take him long time to actually get there. And he doesn't want to get Ancient Tombs either.
No. Those are not doing anything for him.
It feels like he got a land for sure. Was
There-
it a land?
I'm not sure.
It looked like it was land.
At least there is some reading to be done for Hermanni here. Checking the cards. Yes, they are 2/2s.
2/2 and a 3/3.
3/3. Oh
Yeah.
yeah, right.
The Mag Spawn is an amazing card.
Yes, I did play against it with a control deck a few months back, and it didn't feel nice, as it has another mode as well,
Yeah, which is just actually exiling. a land.
exiling a land from the opponent. So
Yeah.
it did some work against my. I was playing the Beanstalk control, I believe. Yeah, and with 3 colors or more, with the leyline bindings, etc. That tends to remove some quite critical components from the deck.
I can imagine that. Meanwhile, in the game, Hermanni casts Fury from his hand to remove some damage from the board, killing it
It heralds.
that heralds, yes, to get rid of some of the mana discounts from the board. Meanwhile, Joonas drew Eye of Ugin, which does decrease his cards even better, and goes for Koskele's command.
Yeah. It does seem like there is some writing on the wall here.
Yeah, this is going to be this quite confident play from Joonas. I feel like this might have been on opponent's turn as well. It might have been just main phase because Joonas does that quite often as well.
Yeah. And why wouldn't he?
Yeah, like there's no need for him to not do that at the moment.
Yeah. It's,
There are like some. There could be like a pyroclasm out of nowhere, like Fear Confluence, whatnot. But I doubt at this point that would be something that Joonas needs to worry about.
yeah.
Excellent. Here we got the Koskele's command on the screen as well, and the second Koskele's command. So
Yeah.
basically, Joonas is
Let's do it
digging out the
again.
win
Yeah.
because it is discounted by 2 by Eye of Ugin.
Yeah.
So he's not netting mana, but he's doing this for free. Of
Yes.
course, I would do it too.
Yes.
An
yeah.
excellent line from Joonas.
Yeah.
I wonder what he's looking for. What should you
There
be
is-
looking for at this situation?
Well, there is another Koskelo command, so might as well go for the next one. That is
Sure.
one thing.
Yeah.
But probably right now I'd be looking for the closures.
Yeah.
Anything that closes the game out, because there is a good chance that this game is already in Joonas' hands. And all he needs is something to make it all stop, all
Absolutely.
end, let's say.
Absolutely. At this point, Hermanni misses a land drop again. There is a monkey at his hand, 2 monkeys. So if he gets one more land, he can cast that One Ring
Yeah.
and effectively protect himself. Joonas didn't find any hasty creatures,
Yeah,
but for end of Hermanni's next turn, he will be able to cast the large Koskelo command once again.
yeah, might even do that beforehand now. We'll see.
Looks like he's at least thinking of that. Yeah.
Yeah,
Sacrificing to you. So that is 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So currently casting command for 5 if he goes for it. Oh, he has the card that exiles things. Yes.
oh yes,
Uh,
that is rough. That is rough. Removing, or it might be
it is not removing anything because there's no colored.
oh right,
permanents
yes,
on the
it
board.
needs to be a color.
Yes.
The permanent that is going,
But it is also a finisher. Hermanni doesn't have any more turns
Yes.
left, basically, if he doesn't draw a land.
yeah,
Or a
It-
mana source.
yeah. If he does though, then the game is very much back on,
Yes.
because that One Ring does work. That is
Not a land.
no, but that is a Fury. I believe that creature though is quite a bit bigger than what Fury can deal with.
Unfortunately so, and if he does that, he would need to get a second type land. He would need exactly City of Traders
Yeah,
by removing the Micro Spawn.
yeah,
But it is a line which he needs to go for
Yeah.
sure. So here we go, exiling Fury. Casting Fury, exiling one of the monkeys.
yeah,
And it needs to destroy the Micro Spawn. It kills the spawn for free. So
yeah.
it's not the worst thing.
Yeah. And so now I believe that creature is a 6/6.
It is a 5/5 if I'm not
5/5. No, but anyway,
Yeah, it is still large enough to deal with the situation quite swiftly. So here we see Joonas casting Koskelo command once again, this time for 4. Yeah,
yeah,
looks like it. 1, 2, 3. Yeah,
that was a quick pickup.
yeah.
No idea what that is, but
There's one card straight to the bottom.
Yeah.
Rest of them he was pondering.
yeah, it's scrying, but yeah.
Basically pondering.
Yeah, yeah.
All right, he puts the card on top, draw the second one. He seems very happy about it.
Yes.
And
Let's
soon
see
we
if
will
it is
see.
a haste creature. Because that's probably what Joonas, realistically at least,
That
would
would-
be really looking for.
That would be the best case for sure.
Yeah. So a bit of mana here and there.
Yes, Devourer Destiny. Excellent card in the deck. Helps with first turns, helps with mulligans. That is not a hasty creature, but it does bounce the Chrome Mox, which is
Yes.
very awkward for Hermanni.
Yeah.
No, it actually exiles.
Exiles, yeah, right. So that's another mana source gone. What could Hermanni even draw at this point?
I don't think Hermanni has any ways to get back into the game.
Yeah.
at this point.
Oh, there is one that I've used a lot. Just trust the other player doesn't understand his chance of winning.
Unfortunately, I don't think that will be happening here today.
No, that is there is a high likelihood of that not happening.
And then
But
there
we've
will
seen weirder things.
be- That is very true.
Yeah.
It is not the first time. Okay, that looks like it is an Eldrazi on the table.
Another Eldrazi. Yeah.
It is another Koskelo combat, actually.
No, yeah. Indeed.
I think for the next rounds we might need to adjust the camera just a tiny bit
Yeah.
to see the full play mats that our players are playing with. At the moment, there's another Koskelo command going in. It's quite a lot. Looks like it's going to be at 4 as well.
Yeah.
So basically, Joonas is looking for a finisher here.
Yeah.
Does he need it? I don't think so. That he needs. He
No.
needs to be digging right now. But we will be getting there shortly. Here's Wasescape Battle Mage. which was used for the red green kicker to actually exile artifact or enchantment and opponent controls. A very powerful, very versatile card, main deckable, but also from sideboards
Yeah.
for the Eldrazi decks.
And draws another card.
Looks like he's going to the red zone. Getting Hermanni down to 2.
To 1, that's a 6/6.
It was 6/6.
It was a 6/6.
It was actually 6/6.
Yes.
I was not looking at the power toughness of the creature.
Yes. A huge one, that. And in the red zone it goes
Hermanni
down
one.
to 1. It won't matter that much as Hermann doesn't play any fetch lands, but naturally...
It has shut down Ancient Tomb.
Yeah. But for that reason, yeah.
And that is the game.
That is the game. Handshake right there. Joonas proceeding with a 2-0 from round 4.
Yes. An excellent match for Joonas. He played the plan as he wanted and proceeded with the plan properly with actually dealing with Lepistø's mana sources, with all the wastelands and whatnot. Not going for the greedy plans of actually just getting more creatures on the board and actually accidentally getting denied by the possibilities of cards from Lepistø's hand.
Yes. Anyway, it's time to move forward. One match down, but we have another one lined up for you. There is going to be Lauri Törnström, a former winner, as just discussed before, and then Pekka Lepistö with him. So there is a short break, and then we will be back. So see you soon. Don't go anywhere.
And welcome back to the Finnish Legacy Nationals of 2024. I am Anttu, and here we have Nala with me on the studio. And we have our reserve match on the table already.
Yes, indeed. That will be an interesting one. There is some blue and some more blue. It's feeling like it's Eiffel 65, I think, what it was, all again. Although this time it will be Sneak and Show and blue-black tempo.
Yes. Both very promising decks at the current meta. Sneak and Show is a classic of ages. It has been around for as long as I can remember playing Legacy myself. And here we have Lauri Törnström with the blue-black tempo deck, showing his hand on the camera. A little bit too fast, Lauri. We didn't see that fast. But he seems like both players kept 7, if I'm not wrong. We are on the third game of the round. Lauri just went for the fast fetch and getting Sammy on the board. Feels like Lauri is very confident, showing with his hand to the camera as well.
Yeah, and I would be too, playing Tamio on first turn, as I was playing this deck earlier this year, and it felt really strong, especially starting with Tamio on turn 1, and then, if possible, brainstorming on turn 2. That is the tip of the iceberg. That's where you want to be.
That is certainly a very powerful turn of events that is very likely to happen as well. I wonder what Lauri is looking from the sideboard. Maybe switching a sleeve or something.
Or tokens.
Yeah. Pekka going for Volcanic Island and Rose Petal and casting a Ponder.
Yeah. Sure, why not?
Yes. Look at your cards. We will decide your fate later.
Yes. And that is probably a good start. After all, next turn, if he plays another land and perhaps another petal, there is a good chance, or a double land, meaning Ancient Tomb, probably, that will bring Pekka to a situation where casting Show and Tell can be dazed, not at least with just 1 daze.
Absolutely. Passing turn after the Ponder. Can't really see exactly what Pekka has in his hand.
A selection of cards.
Absolutely. Lauri taking turn, putting some kind of token down.
A clue that
A
is.
clue token, yes.
After all, he attacked with Tamio.
Yes.
And that generates a clue when attacking, as it investigates.
So is that the glue that binds the deck together?
That indeed is the clue for that.
Here we get Sammy on the screen. It's such a powerful card overall. And Lauri just... that is a Ponder on the stack, so if Lauri draws one more card after the Ponder, he's golden.
Pretty much so, yeah. And there is a good chance that there will be one After all, the deck's like 90% cantrip. At least it feels like it.
There was no second land for Lauri.
Oh, that is not great.
It is not ideal for sure, but I did see Force of Wills at Lauri's hand. I
Yeah,
did see
yeah.
some. There was Force of Negation as well, even a Daze if I'm not wrong. They're still looking not bad for Lauri by any means.
No. But Tamiyo is not the greatest at generating, let's say, lasting presence
Yes.
on the battlefield. After all, it doesn't really do damage.
That is that is the one flaw in the card for sure.
Yes. So Lauri will be needing something else to finish this out.
He will need lands.
Yeah.
The most he will need lands.
Yes.
Pekka taking another setup turn, realizing that Lauri is missing land drops. That either he has lots and lots of interaction in his hand, he can't really go that fast, or that he doesn't need to actually struggle that much.
Yeah.
Lauri actually got the land from Ponder, but missed it for one turn. Interesting. Maybe he
Yeah.
wanted to get second force, just in case.
Yeah, that could be a reason. And seeing Lauri's hand a bit there, there's at least one more Force of Negation.
Pekka going for more lands at this point.
Yeah.
That is
Defense grid, yes.
That is a very powerful card. in
That
this
will
matchup.
probably get countered straight away.
I would counter it.
Yeah, I sure would not let that resolve.
So that is a consign to memory.
Yeah. Counter to a colorless spell in this case.
He
Could
has-
counter something else as well, triggers mainly, but this time it's just that.
Lauri did replicate it as well.
Yeah.
You get the actual double effect on that.
Yeah.
There's the wasteland for the volcanic island.
Yeah. That's gone.
Yeah.
Attacks.
And passing turn after that, I think it with Sammy, of course. Now Lauri is at the point where he can start drawing cards with the clues just by
Yeah.
that. Even though it's not that efficient, of course, but
It's something.
Getting cards is still very good.
Yeah, and Lauri has quite a few counters in his hand at this point,
Yes.
so it's probably not that bad.
Not playing the tempo of a game, but more of a control game at this point.
Yeah.
Pekka playing more lands. This time on Sculling turn.
Yep.
Fetching right away. Is he going for a spell? I feel like that might be a little bit greedy here at this point. But Lauri's going to the point where he will have all the cards he needs eventually, thanks to Tamiyo and cracking the clues.
Yeah.
So Pekka does need to start doing things, that is for sure.
Yeah. Pekka can't be the one that just keeps on going and going and going and waiting, because that won't lead to anywhere.
Yes.
And there we go. Show and tell.
The classic card of the match.
That is probably getting countered.
I would presume so as well.
Yeah.
That is
So
a
Force of Negation. Yeah. That gets Force of Will, possibly.
Lauri does have Force of Will in his hand as well.
Yeah. And that is probably coming up next. Or perhaps another Force of Negation. We don't exactly know what
Lauri-
else there is.
There is also 2 mana up, so he might first collect the clues, but he's not. He just goes for the Force of Will.
Yeah.
Pekka having 2 cards in his hand at the moment. Lauri still having a backup Daze as well.
Right. But there is a Lotus Petal for that.
Absolutely. Ultimately, the show and tell did get countered by the Force of Will here.
Yeah.
Uh,
No surprise there.
yeah. And Pekka has to pass the turn at the point.
Yeah. Lauri attacks, crack the clue in the end, and then just passes the turn again.
Which sounds... Lauri would love to have the third land for sure.
Yeah.
A little bit more agenda on the board.
Yeah. But Lauri seems to be perhaps stepping on the gas a bit.
Absolutely. This would have been the turn for Pekka to retry on the show and tell action. But unfortunately he bricked for the turn.
Yeah.
And we will be going back to Pekka's turn now once again.
Yeah, it's draw go for Pekka for a while now, and that won't do as Lauri does draw go with an additional draw.
Yeah.
And there's the brainstorm that will be
here we
flipping
go.
the Tamiyo
And when it flips, the beast is unleashed.
as one great mind in Finland has said.
Not that much of a beast, Tamiyo after flipping, but it is still an excellent card,
Yes.
which very much could finish up this game as Pekka is going draw go. Lauri has all the manas he needs to keep drawing cards.
Mm-hmm.
And eventually Tamio will go to the ultimate and draw the whole deck for Lauri. Essentially.
Yeah. And that flips. There was a shortcut. And that gets plussed, I believe, yeah.
Yes.
And then just passing the turn.
All right. So now Pekka needs to get something done. He is in the ropes at the moment.
Yeah.
Tamio just needs 2 more turns. And we will be going in that direction. So we have 5 minutes left in the round at the moment. Judges given the players at our feature table 10 minutes extra, so we have actual total 15 minutes.
Yeah. There comes a sneak attack that gets hydroplasted faster than light by Lauri.
Which makes sense. I would have a sneak attack on my opponent's table here.
Yeah, yeah. Lauri goes for fetch. That could be the survey land at this point, as seen.
I do find it very interesting that even tempo shells find room for the surveillance.
But they are basically drawing a card. Not quite, but very close.
That is true. But giving up the tempo of 1 turn sometimes, I feel like that can be very, very harsh. But still, surveil is so much better than any kind of scrying, especially when you can fetch it, that the upside is too strong to pass.
Yeah. Lauri actually going down on Tamio, getting a card from the graveyard.
It was a
force of will, yes.
That makes a lot of sense. No need to give Pekka a turn where he can actually finish up the game.
Very true.
Especially with the cards available from the clues and whatnot.
Yeah, but the downside here is Lauri is providing no pressure, as I was just saying, but there is the pressure. Although it's not huge at the moment, but it is something.
It is still an 8 turn clock. What else do you need?
Yeah, yeah. And that will probably do, unless Pekka finds something.
Yeah. In this kind of matchup, 8 turns is not that slow.
No. There's a wasteland on Ancient Tomb.
I might not have actually cracked on the Ancient Tomb just because of all the damage that it might make, but it is still a very good play.
Yeah, yeah.
Lauri very favors him quite a lot. Going to the red zone with the guys and then casting some more spells.
Let's see what's going to be. A big Murktide.
That is indeed a spell. So the pressure is now quite a lot higher than it was
just
moments before as well.
Yeah. I was just finishing up the sentence last turn about not having that much pressure, and lo and behold, next turn there is pressure.
First end of turn, some pressure, and then a little bit more pressure.
Yes, yes.
It's like being on pressure cooker at this point for Lepistö.
Yes. Probably Pekka is not enjoying this as much.
I would say so as well. This feels like Lauri is taking over the game by a storm, for sure. Pekka still has some game over there. We have no idea what his hand is, but I feel like it doesn't have that much. Likely there's one show and tell / sneak target. Likely a card that he doesn't want to play for whatever reason. So it might be a backup counter spell or whatnot that he wants to keep hold of.
Yeah.
But he needs to solve the situation in 2 turns, essentially. Even faster, perhaps, if Lauri goes for some ways to make his Murktide even bigger.
Yeah, and it was a bit weird because I can see that Lauri has still some instants and sorceries in his graveyard. Oh, he gets
another card
a card from there. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, no.
And that actually doesn't that grow the regent? It should grow the regent.
When the cards are exiled from graveyard, I believe.
Does it say exile or leave?
I believe it is exile. But here we have the handshake for the game. That is enough for Pekka Lepistö. Lauri Törnström takes the win for round 4, going 4-0.
Yes, yes. So that's that done. Let's say, and it sure was an interesting match, this one as well.
Absolutely.
And we're really fortunate to be able to witness this as Lauri is explaining his choices in life just now. But what's going to happen next is really interesting, at least if we can manage it. Because there was some really good magic happening just before we cut to the match here. Let's see if we can get the winner from the previous match here, or not.
Our studio producers are telling us that no, we don't really have time for that. Which is where we have less than 10 minutes for the next round. There was some extra times in the round.
Yes.
At this point, we will be having a short break.
Yes.
And we will be coming right back to you guys with the 5th round of Finnish Legacy Nationals.
See you soon.